Thermal Soundwave.
It's Thermal Soundwaves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. C.Truth here with you, doing a special on those creatives, those who are involved with this year's Conch Shell International Film Festival, putting the focus on the diaspora of the Caribbean. Whether you are a writer, filmmaker, director, actress, or so forth. And joining me this evening is none other than Miss Regina Taylor, actor, writer, director, who has starred in things like I'll Fly Away, First Lady, All Day, All Night, Redline, Lovecraft Country, The Good Fight, Blue Bloods, and so forth. She's won 3 NAACP awards as well as a Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actress. And we welcome right now to the program Miss Regina Taylor. How are you?
Oh, very good. Great talking with you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now, you've come a long way since coming up in Dallas, Texas, and you've gone on to do some many great things, one of which is starring in the piece First Lady, which is now currently on Showtime. Tell us a little bit about your role with that.
I play Marion Shields, who is Mrs. Obama's mother in this piece, and I had absolute wonderful time portraying her, Marion Shields Robinson. I had a great time playing her because when she stepped onto the scene, when the Obamas came to the White House, I went, oh, wow, Michelle brought her mom with her to live with them, to keep the home fires burning and steady. She's always said that she's her rock and foundation, her source of strength. So we know about, in growing up, the necessity of multi-generations raising the children. And she kept true to her roots, her Chicago roots.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What preparation did you have for that role?
Oh, I studied as much as I could in terms of reading books, watching videos, and remembering my first impressions when they first came into the White House.
Right, and First Lady gives her perspectives from the First Ladies as far as what they've contributed to the White House, which a lot of people don't get to see or know of, those particular things that women have portrayed and put forth in history. I mean, you're talking about historical things when you talk about the First Ladies. Coming up in Dallas, Texas, was getting into performance, acting, film, was that always your thing, or did you take a different path?
I started out as a writer. I've always written since I was a child, writing children's books and being fascinated by books, one, in that you can submerge yourself into other cultures, you can jump into different times, different bodies, that you learn so much about the human experience. Why I also love theater, I love film. I started out wanting to be a writer and started in journalism, studied journalism in college, took an acting class because I needed to fill out an extra credit. My counselor said it was really easy, so it'll be an easy A. And I fell in love with it. I stumbled into my first film role from there. Straight while I was in college, a woman saw me stalking Henry Fonda in the hallway because I was too shy to say hello to him, asked me if I was an actress. I said, sure. She asked me to go to this audition. I went to it and I got the job of made-for-TV movie starring Joanne Woodward about the Little Rock Nine, the first 9 students to integrate the Arkansas school system, real-life story. So there I was taking my first plane ride that summer in between school and doing this historical film. And got a taste of what that was, acting, and acting for the camera, and understanding too that you can also bridge social justice education about civil rights, social justice into the work. So I've always been very keen on doing that.
It's Thermal Soundwaves. We're talking to Miss Regina Taylor here with us, actress, a writer, award-winning on the program with us. And given that film and the history behind that, and what has taken place of recent times and recent years with a lot of the protesting and the social justice movements that have come up nowadays, are you surprise of that, or of those, or is that something that you would think would be or would come at these times?
Well, we find ourselves circling back at this moment in time, and that is a historical fact. We need to look at our history to know where we are right now. And certainly we know that every generation has to fight for it, has to be tenacious and fight for the rights that have been so hard earned. And it is cyclical. If we look at this country, just this country, but every country, nation, civilization, the rise and fall of, then you see that history usually repeats itself. So we need to take a look at the strategies of the past to see how we got here, and figure out how to apply those and think of new strategies to combat the onslaught that we're in right now, to see how we move forward rather than continuing to be pushed back.
Definitely. And you've also did another role in which you portrayed Anita Hill, opposite Delroy Lindo, the made-for-TV movie Strange Justice. And that's another case where you see now where back then Anita Hill's story may have been one of a few that was known, obviously not due to what was being not due to what was happening, but obviously the story of what happened to her was nothing that was uncommon. It just wasn't being put out there. But now you have a lot of those stories taking place and being put forward, coming to public light, as well. What are some of your thoughts on, number one, just getting into the character and preparing for that Anita Hill role, and some of the situations that are happening, with women today, and in which you're hearing a lot of their stories of, misconduct and things like that, and a lot of women actually, standing up and taking power against such things.
Yes, she stood up and spoke out before the Me Too movement, and it comes full circle again, watching the confirmation hearings of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, how different, but how similar in tone, the bravery of women to speak, to have their voice, and to have their voice heard. I think they're very brave. I was comparing what happened in terms of Anita Hill, and no one standing up for her to speak out for her on that floor. She was by herself. I'm sure she had her supporters, but no one spoke out. And then you had Cory Booker in this last round. And that was both mesmerizing, heartbreaking. I was crying. And I felt that Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, really, we recognized her, and she did us proud.
Definitely. You've done a lot of work, again, as a writer and theater work as well. Do you feel your preparation and your work in those areas prepared you well for film and TV?
Yes. I started out in theater but once I started acting, and with that first role for TV, about the Little Rock Nine, Crisis at Central High, I've always gone back and forth and mixed it up from theater to TV to film, and now doing the online thing.
Yes, it's Thermal Soundwaves. We're talking to Miss Regina Taylor here with us on the program, playwright, writer, actress as well, with a very varied array of roles, from I'll Fly Away to The Unit, The Negotiator, Blue Bloods, Lovecraft Country. The list goes on and on and on. Too numerous to mention. The Blacklist, Elementary, First Lady, as we mentioned before, Grey's Anatomy. Of your array of roles, is there a particular role that you would like to do that you have not yet? Something that you've been wanting to do?
I think I've been privileged with a lot of great roles, and I think there's always another role that one can imagine. It is about the exploration of the human spirit, to give voice a lot of times to people that we know, that we see, who remain voiceless. Not the public figures, but those everyday work people are also fascinating to me. But also getting a chance to work as a lawyer or a doctor. It depends on how it's presented, what statement it makes. Are we seeing this person in a new way, new perspective in this moment, or is it to solidify what we've always known, but may have never registered or spoken?
And as a storyteller, as a writer, what would you like to write? As far as it could be a film or even a book. I mean, you've written children's books, but are there other books or other pieces of literary work that you would like to do?
Yeah, my other career is as a playwright. I've had several plays produced on Broadway, regionally, and abroad. That I love writing, period. So it is always ongoing, and it is always finding those stories, whether that's about female jazz musicians in the 40s, at a time when men were at war, and people like Rosie the Riveter, the all-female baseball league. You have female jazz musicians. When I first wrote that play, Oobla Dee, I was a huge jazz fan, but really found it hard to find the female musicians in terms of our history. So I had a great time writing about that. I've written Afro-futurist plays, such as Stop Reset. That was at the Signature Theater. I've written about the vast array of our people, whether they are professionals or lay people, and finding that common denominator. What do they dream? What do they fight for? Where do they want to go? How do they see themselves in terms of their past and their future, and how they're coping right here and now? I was just at the festival, the African American Theater Festival in Winston-Salem, doing a piece called the Black Album Mixtape Resistance Plays 2022 box set, in which it was a series of short pieces with music about the issues of the day, whether that's about the voting rights or female bodies, or abortion rights, to gun violence. What issues do we need to, and it was written in terms of what issues do we need to talk about, at least talk about, hopefully to inspire, to ignite people to take an action. And we do need to vote, desperately need to vote. and impart that to everyone right now.
And you are involved in this year's Conch Shell International Film Festival, where you are giving a master class, a great one. Tell us about that.
Yes, it's a master class on acting for the screen. It is the secret of powerful performances translated, spirit channeled through the windows of the soul. And I concentrate on, because I go back and forth stage to TV film, what are the differences and what's essential, I think, for acting for TV and film is that you speak with your eyes, that the camera magnifies everything that crosses through your mind through your eyes.
Wow. And what's something that's relaxing for you, like some kickback time for Regina, just some fun things that you like to do?
I like hanging out with friends. I like pre-COVID having people over for dinner, creating something. But as we were going through COVID and isolated, I figured a way of breaking bread and together online. It was a series of dinners that I orchestrated, including sending specially made black bone china plates to folks, whether they're in the same city or in different states, to send the black bone china that have been created by students, and creating meals, which were, I call them black feasts, from blackened salmon to ribs to black beans to black rice to chocolate cake, and sending that to folk. And then we would all tune in together and have conversations around this virtual table.
Wow, that's great. Was this saved and kept? Because I could think that a conversation like that amongst such great food and great people would be just historic.
Yes, it is on a site, the Black Album, Regina Taylor's Black Album mixtape. And it was part of an initiative that I created for my alma mater, Southern Methodist University, during 2021.
Great, that's beautiful. And will you be doing and continuing this just as an ongoing thing? I mean, obviously, maybe not virtually anymore, but just continuing just that particular essence.
Yes, we'll have to see what happens, won't we? But yes, I am this year working with the Highlander Center, Social Justice and Arts Center in Tennessee, on a piece about Fannie Lou Hamer, and that'll be coming up in September.
Great, lovely. It's Thermal Soundwaves. We're talking to Miss Regina Taylor, filmmaker, writer, playwright, as well, chef, cook, many different titles, but a rounded individual, and definitely someone who has a wealth of knowledge, as you've been hearing us speak about. You can catch her right now, currently on The First Lady. The series is on Showtime, co-starring, of course, Viola Davis, Michelle Pfeiffer, Gillian Anderson as well. And where can people, once again, just if you have a website, the mixtape site once more, and social media to get in contact with you?
Yes, Regina Taylor's Black Album mixtape. I'm also on all platforms, Facebook to Instagram. So would love for people to reach out.
Absolutely. And if you want to take a look at her work as well, as far as the resume, or CV as they call it overseas, go on to IMDb and just put in Regina Taylor, and you will see the wealth of work that she's done, from screen to TV and so forth. And many different areas. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure to speak with you, and I thank you for taking some time out to join us on the program.
Thank you so much, and it's really been a pleasure working with the Conch Shell Productions. Support them in everything they do, from this festival, their film festival this summer, to the theater work that they do as well.
Definitely big ups to Magali and the entire staff at Conch Shell doing their thing. Thank you very, very much, Ms. Hill, and have a great evening.
And thank you.
It's Thermal Soundwaves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. Yes, indeed. The C.Truth here with you. We are doing a special this segment on all of those who are creatives involved with the Conch Shell International Film Festival this year. And it could be filmmakers, writers, directors, actors, playwrights, producers, the list goes on and on and on. We're highlighting some of those people who are involved with the festival this year, and those who are also doing master classes as well, and so forth. So I hope you've been enjoying what we've been doing with those folks and those individuals. And make sure you check out the festival. Go to conchshelliff.com to get your festival passes and to find out more information. All right, C.Truth, Thermal Soundwaves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. Until next time, I say peace. Thermal Soundwave.